Aloha everyone. I have three new long positions for Monday stock market session. The first one, and the one of really only high quality, JBSS. This is a former Perfect Speculator Scan quality name. It hasn't been in there in a while, but I remember it used to always be in there, so it's obviously on my radar already from it being a previous PS name. It's still a CanSlim quality stock, and with the volume surge on Friday, it was confirmed in two of my volume surge scans, so it was one of the very few stocks that showed up in multiple scans, and it looks beautiful. Now, the reason why for the gap up and for this recent little consolidation and now move higher on Friday is because they're going to be added to the S&P 600. I'm not sure what the date is, but if this move is strictly related to S&P 600 and if it's going to be a fade the news, then I'll have my stops available. But if this stock continues to break out and it decides to go ahead and break out to new 52-week highs, as you can see from the previous uptrend from the '09 lows, when this thing gets going, it can really get going. So we'll see if it can do, a similar measured move, what I would be looking for, similar to from July to December or even August to December. So let's say even if we just get this kind of a move here, let's say at minimum we're still looking at a 36% move, and my first cut loss is only about 2-3% away total, as you can see here, about 3% away, and then my final cut loss, and that's even if it gets to it, is all the way down here at 65.13. So reviewing the trade, I'm going to be going long JBSS Monday morning, limit order at 69.84, the high of the day. My first stop is going to be 67.17, a penny below that. My final stop 65.13. If it fails 67.17 on heavier volume before eclipsing 65.13, I will either split my stops up in half again or move that final one up to whatever the low a day is of that heavy volume eclipse of 67.17. But JBSS, great chart. Wish it was more earnings related and not S&P 600 being added related, but that's some very large volume, excellent follow through to the gap up. We'll see if it continues. And then also, I'm going to go ahead and go long CDZI. CDZI, very beautiful pattern. It was only in my tertiary scan, which means it's only technically 0.5% of my account capital. But the main reason why I'm going long CDZI, even though BOP is going in the wrong direction, because one of my things that I need right now is for BOP to go in the right possible direction. I want it to trend higher, is that on Wednesday, I got a long signal in CWST right here. This is what the chart looked like. There's on a longer term time frame and getting more up close, it was right there. But I decided not to go long because BOP was slightly lower than the previous highs. That cost me immediately an 8% gain right off the bat. CWST still looks good. Then on Thursday, MZOR gave kind of a long signal. I thought it was a little extended, but if you look at that previous uptrend, nice breakout from this long saucer base. Very, very nice, but a little extended. So if I was going to go long, I was going to use a limit order around 24.86. Well, unfortunately, never even would have hit 24.86, but the very next day, boom, up 13% on Friday. So I don't want that to happen again on CDZI, so I'm going long CDZI. My limit orders at the high of the day at 14.80. My first stop, 14.25. Right there. It moves below 14.25. I'm out of half a CDZI. And then my second sell stop recommended is 13.60. But do you see where BOP goes green here? The low after that BOP going green is 13.80. So 13.80 could be one of your final sell stops if you wanted to hold all those powerful pocket pivot point signal moves that you just seen in the second half of March. So you see 3 pocket pivot point signals all with the green BOP. So if it fails 1380, you can get out. But me, I'll be personally using 1360 just to give it some room since it's only 0.5% of my account capital. Now, if it's more, yeah, 1380 is what I'd use. And then the final long position for this weekend going into Monday, BASI. This is one of my nicer looking overall technical patterns. It was in both of my BOP scans, 20 days green BOP, max green BOP for 5 days. So that's why I decided to go long, because it's the best looking strong pattern. While the market's a little iffy here, like I said, I don't want to chicken out of going long strong patterns, because if I don't take BASI and if it does an MZOR or a CWST type move, like I said, I'll regret it. I don't regret MZOR because that was a little extended. I do regret not going long CWST. So CDZI gotta go long, and then BASI gotta go long. Limit order at 141. My stop, the one and only, 126. You could use 130 and 126. That seems like splitting hairs since I'm only putting $1,000 into this trade. So if it goes below 126, I'll be out. My first profit target, 187. My second profit target, 242. And then my ultimate profit target, or if it's a trend following position, then my next profit target all the way back over here at 380. So 187, 242 if I remember correctly, and 380 are my initial profit targets. Limit order at 141, stop at 126. Those are the new long positions going into Monday. Right now, everything's smooth sailing. Most of my long positions are holding above their stops, but I got some pretty tight stops. If the market sells off, I'll lock in my profits, take my small losses, and let the hedges work, and then raise some cash for the next round of signals. But right now, the market looks a little weak. We'll see if that follows through next week. If it does and we move higher again, I would think that would be really bullish. So we'll see what happens. Aloha, everyone.